Welcome to Burn the Ship, the podcast that inspires entrepreneurs to go all in and connects them with professionals that can help them do it. I'm really excited today. I've got one of my new friends, Christian, here with 360 Commercial Interiors. I'm saying it correctly?
Yes, sir.
Beautiful. So Christian's going to tell us a little bit about his journey. Now, what part of Atlanta are you in?
Gwinnett County, so we're out of Lawrenceville.
So Christian also drove a little bit today, so I want to say
About an
thank
hour
you for
drive,
that.
yeah.
Yeah, man, I really appreciate you coming up here. Now, are you up in this area at all, or is this kind of...
No, not really.
yeah.
We
You got
stayed.
plenty of business in Gwinnett.
Yeah, honestly, we stayed local to Atlanta a lot.
Okay, yeah, absolutely. So jump right into it. Give us a little background on what you guys do at Commercial Interiors, 360 Commercial Interiors.
So we do a lot of ground up renovations. Everything's commercial.
Yep.
From time to time, we'll get like a homeowner that'll be, hey, can you come do my basement or something like that, and we'll tackle that. But
Yeah,
our thing is commercial. So we'll get in there, pop lines, frame walls,
Yes.
whether it be exterior or interior walls, put the drywall up, finish it, get it ready for paint.
Yep.
Obviously, we don't do any paint. We're kind of exploring that, but not right now. And we'll do all the ceiling work,
Yeah.
whatever we got to do for the ceilings, and just turn that thing over, man. That's,
Yep. And I think one of the big things that, is become very, very obvious to me, and I'm sure it's really, it's probably every single day for you, is how important it is to have relationships in your business, right? You've got guys who are doing painting. You've got guys who are maybe just the GCs who are bringing in these opportunities. And you guys are you doing a piece of it? Do you guys do a lot of bidding yourself? How does that kind of play with
Yeah,
you
we
guys
do a
getting
lot
business?
of bidding. So
Okay.
we're constantly sending out bids,
Yep.
trying to, meet new people, new GCs,
Yeah, for
obviously,
sure.
and trying to get in their good side and
Yeah.
create relationships, like you
Absolutely.
said. And
Have you found any unique ways to kind of create those relationships, or what seems to work, or is it just kind of you build trust and go from there?
yeah, man. I mean, I think one thing that's worked for us is just sending out good pricing.
Yep.
Get in front of them,
Yep.
visit their office, maybe
100%.
have lunch for them,
Yep.
with them, something like that, and get them a good price. Get on, get a foot in the door, and just showing them what we can do. We're
Absolutely.
a small company, man, so we've been around for 4 years, so
Yeah.
it's kind of like nobody knows us as much.
Yeah.
So whatever it takes to get a foot in the door and just show them what we can do. I mean,
That's it. Perfect. I like that. All right, that's good to know. All right, let's take a step back now. So 4 years ago, you start 360 Commercial Interiors, and what kind of led to that? What was 4 years before that, or 2 years, or a year, or 6 months before that? Like, what kind of was that journey to get to beginning this company?
So I've been in construction since graduating high school,
Okay.
2010.
Yep.
So I started concrete. I think I did 2-3 years doing concrete,
Yeah.
and moved on. Met a buddy and was like, "Hey, you want to come frame commercial frame?" And I'm like, "What is that?" You
Sure.
know? And he went in there with him, started from the bottom, man, picking up trash.
Yeah.
So that journey was crazy. Started working for a lot of different companies, 1099 contractors. So wherever
Yeah.
work is, I'm going.
Yep.
Traveling a lot. I got to work at the Mercedes-Benz Stadium
That's
for
neat.
another
Yeah.
big company. So eventually, shout out to Bracington Bailey. They put me on. That's
Okay.
like the biggest company I come from.
Yeah.
And I worked for them for 5-6 years.
Okay.
And I got to a point where I was like doing my own side work.
Sure. Yep.
Side work, weekends and this and
Yeah.
that.
It's a grind for
Yeah,
sure.
man. And then so I just came up on an opportunity, man. They were like, "Hey, you need you want this as a big job?
Yeah.
You got to start your own company.
Yep.
You got to have your own insurance,
Yeah.
all this." And I was like, "Man, what am I doing?"
Yeah.
So I did it, and I was still working for the company.
Okay.
So I was like trying to juggle both of these, at the
Yeah.
same time, and then it just got to the point, man, where I couldn't do it anymore. It was like, oh man, I had 3 or 4 jobs over here, and then one big job with the
Yeah.
main company,
Right.
And I was like, you know what? I gotta throw a towel in.
Yeah.
I try to hold on for as much as I could, man.
Yeah.
Try to just hang in there.
Yeah.
And it was like, man, I feel so bad because, that company was so good to me.
Sure. Yep.
And then I just had to leave. I was like, I've got to go, man.
Yeah.
This is my calling.
That's
This
it.
is what I always wanted to do.
I mean,
and
this sounds cheesy because it's the name of our podcast, but that sounds like one of your burn the ship moments, right?
Yeah.
It's kind of one of those things of like, you guys have helped me get to this place, but at the same time, I know that if I don't take the step on my own, then I'm really holding myself back, even though, so those are difficult times, but it's like, hey, this is what I'm going to do. This feels like my calling. Let's go. So I love hearing that.
That's crazy. And so I did it right. I didn't know anything about
Isn't it funny,
nothing,
man? Like, yeah, when you open a business, you start a business, like it's a couple of times it's popped in my head. I don't know if this is a great reference, but it's like almost like having a kid. there's not a great manual for it, right? Like nobody like is saying you got to pass this test or you got to go through these. You can open a business a number of different ways, and you're taking your approach a number of different ways, just like you can with a kid, right? I mean, there's all sorts of ways to parent, good, bad, somewhere in the middle, and that goes with owning a business too. But you kind of just got to figure it out, right? There's no manual that works for everybody. I mean, where you are regionally, where you are, whatever industry you're in. I mean, all those different things are going to be a factor of your unique business and how you got to figure it out. Yeah. So I feel that for sure. I definitely do. Safe Harbor, we've been around for roughly 2 years, and I've been leading the team for probably, it's almost 12 months now. And, we're still figuring it out, right? And it's one of those things, the commercial insurance market right now is wild. The personal insurance market, everybody can relate to just because your car insurance is going up, your home insurance is going up. And so we're still figuring it out. But it's one of those things like, it's not about like quitting on it. It's like, how do we make this better? How do we add value? How do we do things that, strengthen our customers so that they're referring us to their friends or to their business associates or what have you. So I can really relate to that. So keep going with, just what that journey looked like from I don't know what we're doing. So what was that kind of that first step? You had this big job, right?
Yeah, it was a big job that I got, and I was like, how am I going to do this?
Yeah.
Who do I need on my corner? You know. It was crazy, man. Just making phone calls, talking to other people, guys that I met in the industry that had done the same thing, branched out, another thing, that's where relationships come in. I met a lot of guys during my career, like, hey, I'm leaving.
Yeah.
I'm going out to do this. I'm going to, different trades as well, So I reached out to them and, just figuring it out, man. Just like calling, even my insurance guys, like, hey, man, how should I go about this?
Yeah.
How should I go about
Insurance
that?
agents could be a great reference point. And if not, like, knowing the answer, they're probably going to know somebody that's in a similar field or maybe the same field and kind of give some direction or connect you with that person.
Yeah, man.
It's, I kind of grew up in the side of insurance that was very, it was commercial large account, and it was very dog eat dog, right? And so it was just, everybody was my competition. And now, that I've stepped away from that and I've really kind of ingrained myself in this Ackworth area, Kennesaw area, there's a ton of insurance agents. My joke is I could hit a golf ball and hit 5 agencies from this office right now. We literally could, in the shopping complex. So just kind of going through, I lost my train of thought there, to be honest with you, just as far as those relationships and just how valuable those are and being able to reach out to those different people. I know I lost my train there. So anyway, back to where you were. You've hired, or that's my next question. So how do you go about hiring for that first kind of job? Did you hire guys? You 1099 guys?
Yeah.
Like, how'd that go?
Yeah, so it was a whole bunch of my buddies, man. That we came up the same
relationships.
way.
That's what it was. Yep.
And I was like, hey, I got this big job. You guys know how to do it. Let's go. Let's just go. It was like about 10, 15 of us. Just it was a big apartment complex.
Okay.
And it was all drywall.
Yeah.
So that's just get in there, go to town, start hanging drywall.
Absolutely.
And it was fun, man. I had a lot of my buddies, old school buddies, that showed up and everything, and it was an ongoing process. But man, it was great. Some of them stuck around. Yeah. The others went back, did their own thing. And,
okay.
But yeah, man, it was hiring and hiring guys that know how to do different things that you don't even know that you needed.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
It was crazy, man. It's definitely a roller coaster ride.
Absolutely. Well, and that type of work, so I've hung drywall before. I did it in my house, and because I got a quote and it was pretty expensive. I was like, I'm going to try this on my own. So then I'm watching YouTube videos. You guys are machines out there. It's insane to watch you guys, like the professional crews. It's just, you got different guys doing different things, and it's just popping up there, man. It's pretty wild. Yeah. It's impressive. I know how long it took me, and I could still see my lines and all those things. And so it was one of those, like, maybe paint will help. Paint does not help. It matters to go to a professional. Yeah, it really definitely does. Absolutely. So fast forward now, you've done this big job. You got a couple of guys on your crew at this point, a couple of guys that have kind of gone back to what they were doing. Where does the business go from there? You've got this one opportunity. You go through a lot of steps to make it so that you are a legitimate business. You've got insurance. You've got your LLC. How do you get the next job?
That's very, I was thinking about that. When that job got done, I was like, well, what do I do now?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Like, where do I go now? Who do I talk to get more jobs?
Right.
Or what am I doing? You know? And that was another whole thing. Like, okay, so back when I was with the company, like, they used to, send out bids, have their estimators and all that. So I was like, I guess I got to start doing that, and that was another big thing that I didn't know.
You just got to learn it, right?
I didn't know what I was doing either, I was like, man, I'm just like going to a house and just saying, okay, this is how many sheets this is, whatever.
Right.
And this is how much it's going to be. But now we're talking, just send me the blueprint and we'll give you a full, a price on it.
Yeah, yeah.
And that's like It's awesome, man, because I look at it now from where I started to what we're doing now.
Yep.
It's a big should develop into something else,
What
man.
sort of I mean, I have my own feelings for what I feel like your emotion is, but I want to put it back in your court. When you look back in that grind time and that learning time, what's that sense of feeling that you have for your own self? I mean, I'm looking for like pride and those sort of things, but I mean, it's got to be a long. I mean, because that grind, once you kind of look back at it, that's pure, man. That's just good. Like you see where your effort has created something that's substantial for your own self, and it's like something you can stand on now.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, does that reiterate with you, or that?
Yeah, man, definitely. I mean, I look back to what I was doing, even in the when I was younger, way
Yeah.
younger, and I'm like, damn, I can't believe we're coming this far, you
Heck
know.
yeah,
And
man.
like, it's like last year, like I'm looking at numbers, what we did last year. I'm like, I would never think
Yeah.
this, you know. And it's all. I think it's all just hard work ethic.
Absolutely.
You know? Like it's
And consistency
yeah,
seems to be a theme that I hear a lot, and I know for my own self, it's being consistent on even when times are slow. It's like finding those opportunities. I hate like somebody says like, man, I don't have anything to do. It's like there's something to be done. I guarantee it. Now, it may be you may need to sleep, you may need to go and I don't know, get outside. Like it doesn't always have to be like the specific work for your what your job is, but there's always something to be done, right? If mental health is part of the whole equation too, right? And so it's like, how do you find those moments when you just want to stop and keep going, right? And sometimes you have to give yourself grace and reprieve, and it's like, yeah, I do need to go sit for a couple hours and chill, or go meet up with some friends or whatever. But man, it's a grind. It's an absolute grind. So tell us about right now. What's kind of exciting with you guys? You got more projects coming up. How big a crew do you have? How many guys you got working with you?
we got a small crew right now.
Okay.
6 guys.
Six guys, yeah.
If we ever feel a need to like bring some more guys in,
You can do that.
Make a couple calls and see if we get
Nice.
some guys on, boots on the ground and stuff. But I mean, we're just bidding work, man. We got building AT&T stores.
Okay.
Got a lot of big franchises, Crumble Cookies.
Yeah.
Tropical Smoothie Cafes. We're
Yep.
always traveling.
The
doing
Tropical
those.
Smoothie Cafe, man, those have taken off, which is wild.
Yeah.
I remember, like, that was like 5 years ago. There's like 1 or 2 locations, and now they've just franchised everywhere. So that's a great relationship to be a part of, for sure. And Gwinnett, I mean, continues to grow, and there's just that whole area. I mean, Atlanta just continues to expand out, right? Especially as you're going up 85 or even 75 up this direction. I mean, it blew my mind when I moved to Ackworth how many people were out here, right? And I mean, I think Gwinnett, I grew up in Oconee County, so just a little bit east of you guys. But man, coming down, I think there was one high school in Oconee, and Gwinnett had like, I don't know, at that time, maybe like 8. This was in 2003. And so now I don't even know how many there are. I mean, the population is just exploding.
Traffic,
So-
man.
Oh, dude, traffic. Yeah, Atlanta's full.
Yeah.
All right. Well, cool. Well, tell me a little bit more about what you like to do, just in your personal time. Like, what's fun?
Man, just hanging out with family, man.
Nice, okay.
Big family guy.
You got a big family?
Yeah, I've got twin girls. I got
Nice.
another. They're 7 years old. I
Okay.
got another daughter that's 5, and then a boy that's 3.
So it's quiet at your house.
Oh man, it's crazy. So I got to find something for them to stay busy.
Absolutely.
Stay tired, stay
Yeah,
busy. So
yeah. Yep.
whatever that is. But usually what I do, I used to like to exercise a lot. I used to be a boxer.
Oh yeah,
so,
you did mention that to me. Okay, that's an endurance sport right there. That's a man's game.
That's an awesome thing.
Yeah.
Man, but I don't do it anymore.
Yeah, sure. But there's a lot to be taken away from what being a boxer or training as a boxer are, right? I mean, that's discipline, that's consistency, those type of things. Because I mean, you see those guys training, and I don't have the first. I wouldn't. I shouldn't even be speaking on the subject. 'Cause I know nothing about boxing. But I do see those guys training, and it's insane what they can do with their bodies, right? Because you've got weight, which is included in that, and it's just wild. Like you just not only learning how to hit, but also how to take hits, right? And those type of things. I mean, it's a physical game.
yeah. But I mean, that's about it, man. I mean, I'm just big on family now.
Yeah.
Trying to learn new things. I want to get into golf, so
Okay.
maybe.
Welcome to the room, man. Scott's getting into it. We got a bit of a golf culture thing happening here at MP Group and at Safe Harbor and Lake. What is it? Lake Productions. Lake Point Productions. So yeah, we actually play a fair amount. We need to go out into the golf ball. I'd love to go and man. Get a little driving range time. I'm a sucker for the. I don't know. It's like a nice humility check every single time I hit a golf ball. You're expecting great things. It's sitting there by itself, but man, it's a reality check. But it's another game of discipline. It's a great game to pick up though. So I say go for it. And there's some good golf out in Gwinnett for sure. I'm trying to think last time I was out there.
I mean, I just go to like Top Golf, and that's
Yeah.
pretty much what I do. But a lot of my family is picking it up now. So it's
Sweet.
yeah,
We so we've got a couple of guys, and myself included, who've gotten the like cheaper simulator, like golf simulator deals or whatever, and so those have been awesome. Like with my family, like we were up all together for the fourth at a lake house, and so we were there, and I'd taken my simulator up there, and my nephew's hitting on it, my brother-in-law's hitting on it, and it's really cool, man. You can play like virtual golf, you can just go to a range and see your numbers. So
yeah,
there's some cool stuff out there, and golf is growing so much, even with like kind of, what's the right word? Spin-offs wouldn't be the right word, but like similar sort of setups to what Topgolf is, right? But much more. You might have 3 or 4 bays, and it's kind of a neighborhood vibe. Or so I'm digging what golf's up to. So yeah, definitely keep on that train. Well, that's awesome. So how can our audience connect with you, help you? Are you on social media? What all
yeah.
is okay?
So we do a lot of LinkedIn. That's like
Okay.
our
Yep.
main platform.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know,
Yeah.
a little bit of Instagram. But
That makes sense on the commercial side, right?
Yeah.
Because that's definitely more your clientele would be over on that side of things. So LinkedIn, you guys have a website.
Yeah.
We'll link it at the bottom. It's how do you spell it? Because it's not commercial. It's
It's 360intconst.com. So it
That's
kind
it.
of abbreviates
Yeah.
interior construction.
Yep. Perfect. I just didn't want to butcher it either. Well, I think my questions now get a little bit more on just kind of that personal journey and just kind of what motivates, what drives you. Obviously, you got family. You've got a crew of 6 guys, so I'm sure there's some investment there and just looking out for those folks. But what are some of your key takeaways that you could share with somebody who's maybe thinking about opening a business, or somebody who is they maybe have just opened a business and they're struggling, right? And they're thinking about they're thinking I burnt the ship, or I burnt the ship, but at the same time, man, like how do I build another ship? Because right now my ship's not there. Like, just what's the motivation, or what are those things that you kind of hold on to remind yourself?
Oh man, just I think planning it. The way I did it, kind of just I jumped out, boom, I dived in, right? But in a way, I kind of knew what I was getting myself into. So I was kind of expecting certain things to happen, but I think just planning it, man, like having a good plan. If you don't, just get in there, try to figure it out. You know? There's a lot of resources nowadays.
There are.
You can call people, you can hire consultants, you can do this and that. But as far as for the younger generation, I know that there's a lot of guys out there that want to do it. Just do it, just get out there and figure it out, man. I mean, nobody's born knowing anything,
Right.
Business is the same way. I mean, it's always going to grow. It's going to be a roller coaster ride, and so it's going to be up and down. So that's something to get used to, And I just get in there and do it. Just do your best work,
Yep.
Have good people by your side, try to determine whether somebody's there for the good reasons or not.
Right, sure.
There's always somebody there that's there to help you and lift you up.
Right. Yeah. And just, I mean, the folks that you're around every single day make such an impact, right? I mean, it's critical to make sure that you're surrounding yourselves, be it their, your employee, your coworker, or whatnot, with that positive energy, right? And because, I mean, those things can really drag you down. I think one other thing that you mentioned there that for me was hard, and it still is a little bit hard to this day, is asking for help, right? And really not, I think a lot of times I get in my own way and think, oh man, they're going to judge me, they're going to think I'm stupid, whatever. But I've met assholes, trust me, and they're out there. But I've rarely run into an individual that has not been helpful or wanted to help, and it has something to do with how I approach it or how one approaches that. But at the same time, a lot of people like talking about what they do and talking about themselves. And I think as long as you're willing to kind of hear some of that out, a lot of times people are willing to help you as well with your journey, especially if they've been accomplished. I think for a long time I was like, this guy's successful. Why would he help me? Like, he's just going to keep getting better. The reality is like, there are a lot of folks who want to see others succeed. And I think it's just a matter of like taking a moment, figuring out who those people that could help you are, and reaching out to them, be it on LinkedIn, be it through social media. And really, I think the value of speaking to someone, in my opinion, maybe I'm getting old, but I think there's a lot of value in that. Emails are awesome, and that's a great way to have that first initial introduction. But man, connect with folks and talk to them. I feel like that's really where there's a lot of value. And I feel like that it's just more intimate in that moment, right? Instead of just something somebody can type on a keyboard.
Yeah, I think times now are changed, man. I remember back then when I was growing up younger. I mean, nobody wanted to show you how to do
Right.
certain things.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
in construction, that's how it was.
Sure.
I was real big on learning how to read blueprints when I was younger.
Okay.
So I would ask, and nobody would want to
Is
teach
that right?
you. Yeah,
Yeah.
man, it was crazy. And even in other trades, I guess the older generation didn't want to lose their job or didn't
Right.
want anybody coming in
Yeah.
or whatever.
It does feel that way, because I mean that is very relatable, of just that feeling. And I don't have something specific where somebody withheld information that I was like striving for. The beautiful thing now though is if I do want information, I like to hear it from an individual that's got the experience. But I also found that Google's a great resource. The internet's a great resource. Like YouTube is just like insane with like details of how to do things or overviews or templates or whatever it is you may need. And then, I hate to say this right after I'm talking about how important it is to have humans that help you, but the AI stuff's pretty crazy too, right?
Yeah,
and even just for formulating your emails or for doing these little kind of helpful tips or just helping to explain something in layman's terms, right?
Yeah.
So there's a lot of resources out there, and I appreciate you saying it that way, because it's critical that you open your mind to how others can help you so that you can be successful. So absolutely. Any other thoughts that you'd like to share with our audience?
Oh man, I would say just stay in there.
Yeah.
You're in there for the long run now, so don't turn back. Stay in there and start planning how to grow. Whether it be growing and sustaining and acquiring real estate, construction-wise, or just selling your business, whatever it is, or early retirement, whatever you want. But just stay in there. You're in there for a long run. Don't give up. It's plenty of times where I wanted to just quit,
Sure.
throw in the towel, and
Sure.
like, man, what the hell am I doing?
Yeah. Yeah.
And dark times, man. Like, oh man, what am I doing? How am I gonna get through this? How am I gonna get through that?
Was there a
bills gotta get
specific
paid.
experience that happened kind of in those that like help you see through that, or is it time?
A couple of times, man. Like I just ran into issues. Like another thing, not knowing what to do, not having the correct people behind my back or in my corner. Like just running out of money or something,
Sure.
whatever. It was just like, damn, what am I gonna do? Like people got to get paid. I got to get paid. Bills got to get paid.
That's it.
It's
your crew's got to get paid.
Yeah, man. I mean, it's now that I look at it, we're a little more established, organized now,
Sure.
and hopefully in the future we'll be a lot bigger.
Yeah.
So, but now that I look at it, I mean, from when I first started to now, it's crazy, man. It's like I don't know, man. We're blessed, man. I think it's all just work ethic. Hard
100%.
work. Stay in there, keep going, just keep going, don't stop, keep going. You know, and eventually you'll have a breakthrough.
Absolutely, absolutely. Just got to keep knocking on that door. What's the future look like for you guys and for your company and for your family? I mean, just let's start with 360. What's that look like? I mean, you said a little bit of growth, growing.
Yeah, man, definitely want to grow. Multiple offices, getting really established. We travel a lot out of state, North Carolina, South Carolina, Florida. I just came back from Tampa. We're doing a Houndstown down there. So,
okay.
I mean, that's what I got in mind, growing, spreading out through the Southeast, making sure that we're doing the right work, same quality everywhere.
Yeah.
And as soon as we do that, I think everything we're good,
Absolutely.
I don't feel like me selling it. I'm not one of those guys like going to grow and then sell it, This is like this is something that came from nothing. I built this,
You did.
like just out of my mind, just out of motivation, resilience, just something that I had there. Been in the it's been cooking for a long time.
Sure.
You know what I mean? So it's like
yeah.
I can't just grow it and sell it.
Right.
It's got to keep going. It's legacy.
Yeah.
I want hopefully my kids get in on it later on, or family, wherever it is. And I mean that's what I want. So.
That's awesome. That's awesome. That's a great message, and I appreciate that. And to each their own, right? Like, cause but I like the idea of creating longevity and something for either my family to work with me or for them to benefit from. You know what I mean? I've seen a lot of folks in the insurance industry whose kids have entered the insurance industry, but they'll enter in a totally different field, right? And so it's something kind of outside, but it's that they're introduced, they're familiar with that kind of the way that world works, if you will. And they've done really well as a result of it. And I think that goes, I mean, it's kind of what you grow up on. I took a little different path than what my father did and mother did, but at the same time, I think that there are a ton of benefits from understanding what your parents are up to, right? And seeing that hard work. And both my parents were hard workers, and so that was really something that impacted me.
Yeah.
And that's something your kids are seeing every day, right? And so that's so beneficial to them in the future when they're, you know, journeying out, be it working with you or on their own path. So
That's right.
I love it. I love to hear that. That's about all I've got for today. And I mean, this has been great to hear your story and your journey. I don't want to cut it short, but at the same time, I feel like we're running it for about 20, which is our normal time. Mm-hmm. What's the final thing as far as your kind of that motivator when you are down? Like, it just now that just is it family? Is it your crew? What is that daily motivation in the morning that just gets you rocking?
For me, it's family. You know, it's waking up, seeing what I have. You know, definitely what God has put in front of me and around me. So I got to keep going, man. Because you know, I believe in Jesus. I'm a believer and a God-fearing man. So I'm like, hey, He's doing this for a reason. I got to keep going. You know.
Perfect. Well, I appreciate it, Christian. I look forward to talking more with you. Thank you so much for driving up here to Ackworth and meeting with us. And that's it. I appreciate it. Cool. Shake your hand. Thanks, man.
That's great, man.
Cool.